Welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, powered by SteelSeries Alias microphones, but more on that later. I am Zach Jackson, and joining me is James Wood,
Howdy, gamers.
Adam Ryan,
Hello again.
and Nathan Hennessy.
Yeah,
Welcome back for another week. Great to see you, lads.
And isn't it a scorcher?
It is hot.
Guns out.
Oh, mate.
That's a mental
So you
image
need to
over here.
realize that we are recording visuals now. That's not just for us.
Absolutely.
You were aware of that? Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. No. More
Mate,
power
who
to
doesn't
you.
want to see the gun
lean
show?
in.
we're all about that trashy behaviour here, aren't we?
That's it. That's it. How you guys?
Top notch.
Moist.
I'm not as warm. I think it's like 17 degrees down, all the way down south here. So it's nice.
We
Put a
are
hoodie on
sweater.
if I wanted to.
31 in Adelaide at the moment, and
No.
it's nearly 8 o'clock.
No,
Yep.
I hate that.
Yep.
I think
Oh,
we're
yeah.
rocking the same numbers over here.
Yeah, I think it's about 30 here.
Yeah. There you go.
Don't want that. Not even for
Mr.
a minute.
Ryan, you're rocking the sleeveless attire as well. You got a new tat.
Just one. I'm doing a new thing where I just have one sleeve, one short sleeve.
Yeah.
Yes, got a new pineapple apparently. Slapped on the arm. Great fruit, you know. Tropical.
Do you
Yeah, I
rate
rate it.
pineapple on the Barbie?
I rate
Barbie?
pineapple everywhere. I don't.
Not on-
I don't.
not on
in
pizza,
whatever
surely.
form.
Yeah, I'm probably with him.
Not on
Nope.
pizza.
Pizza,
Belongs on
barbecue
pizza.
up my ass. I don't care. Put pineapple everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
you've obviously seen
That'd be a
Little
real
Mickey then.
prickly operator. You're going straight to hard mode.
Can't be a safe word when you use it. It's real tricky.
Well, okay then. Very nice. So, how long did that take to get done?
Only like an hour and a half. It was pretty speedy. I was in and out. I was on work time, so I was kind of glad that was the case.
Excellent.
Just on your lunch break,
I said that.
going to get a tat.
Well, I said that I had an appointment. I didn't specify what kind of appointment it was.
That's how you get it done.
And now they know.
Yeah, exactly.
Been lying if I haven't pulled one of those.
Ah, shit. Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Have we?
If
Good
not,
guys,
we will
Zach.
be.
Hmm.
Good guys.
I've had a lot
yeah.
of appointments during work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
What are you
pineapple's fallen.
putting on it? What are you rubbing on it?
Bepanthen, man.
What, at my appointments or?
See, interesting that you say that. I was, well, I'm not hoping that you'd say that, but apparently that's really bad for it now. Apparently, Bepanthen is not the way to go. There's like special tattoo, like balm and stuff called, I think it's called Dr. Pickles.
It smells like shit though, so I'm good.
But it's better for
I'm
your...
I'm
it's
just
better
going
for your
with what
tattoo.
just going with what my artist says, mate. I'm straight from the horse's mouth, not from your fucking TikToks or wherever you got your information from.
tattoo
You're a
artist.
big
but,
TikToker, aren't you?
yeah. Nope.
Yeah, right.
Was it a tattoo artist on TikTok though?
No.
Yeah.
Fuck, I would not have TikTok. TikTok can never be installed on my phone.
These are the 5 tattoo mistakes you should never make. I bet
Mate,
that's where you got it from.
you Google it. And you'll be
I'll
surprised.
be right.
Eh,
I'll be right on it.
No, you won't.
What happened? Do your
You-
research, mate.
You don't want to face the hard truth.
That's true. It's true.
And the pharmacist told me that as well. Because the tattoo artist was like, no, you need to get this stuff. It's called like Dr. Pickles, blah blah blah. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go get Bepanthen. Then the pharmacist like, if you get that, like you're gonna, it's not good for your tattoo. Like Bepanthen is recommended by people who haven't heard of like the internet or like new science and like stuff. Basically, he was like, this is old like people stuck in the old ways. But yeah, anyway.
It's weird because it's a Bepanthen that is specifically marketed for tattoos.
Well, there you go. I'm just
Why
telling
would
you what.
marketing lie to someone?
No. they
Anyway.
wouldn't.
No.
Look, it looks good. You're happy. I'm happy. You rub
I'll
whatever
look
you
up
want
this
into it.
internet thing. We'll see.
Please do.
We'll see how it goes.
Please do. Alrighty, James. You got any plans to get some tattoos on your lunch break?
I don't know. I don't know if I like anything enough to really permanently commit to it. Like I've toyed with a Bloodborne one for years, but
Like
Still
a
never
full,
actually done it.
full
Fuck oath. He
back
would.
spread?
That would be the one that he gets, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
You'll get that like berserk symbol that they use for the
yeah,
loading screens.
the berserk symbol.
God
Yeah.
damn it, James! You're so easy.
Look, I'm a simple man.
Don't worry. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit that's the only one I've got going for me too.
Not going to
So
get
the fun part's just where you put it.
the well played Sandboy logo.
Yeah, love to explain that at parties.
Look, it would.
Can you explain the significance?
It would be a conversation starter.
It would. Hey, you like Sandboy chips? Check this out. There you go, bang.
Now, you did gesture that it was a tramp stamp. That says a lot.
I don't know
Well,
where else it would be.
Where else would you get it?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
call.
My name's Sam.
Fucking hell. All right, cool. Let's talk video games. That's why we're here. James, what have you been playing? What can you share with us that you've been playing?
I've been dabbling in Green Hell with a couple of
Oh, yeah.
mates. The like
Interesting.
survival game. I don't know if it's good. I don't think I would call it good. I don't think I'd even call it functional. It crashes once every half an hour or so.
It's been out a while. Yeah, right.
It has been out a while, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's because we're doing like multiple regions on the network. But yeah, look, a bit of a nightmare technically. But you know, it's fun enough. I think any crafting sim camp builder can be enjoyable under any circumstances, provided you enjoy placing pot plants and shit. And I do. So, you know, I've
Nice.
played worse things.
That's
How do you
true.
rank it against Power World, mate?
Fucking, we'll talk about Power World later. We'll get to Power World.
Sorry, jumped the gun there.
Nah, it's fine. Could read my review over on Kotaku Australia right now.
Yeah, boy.
Adam, what have you been playing?
I'm letting the team down. I've really not played a great deal of anything in the past week. More finals. There's just the comfort games. I have played a bit more of Prince of Persia, but it's just been in little pockets of time. So
Little
I'm
spurts.
sorry I've let the team down. Yeah, just little bits and pieces this week.
It happens sometimes.
I strive to do better for next week, boys. I'll try my
Please.
best.
Nathan, how about you?
Yeah, just two for me. So yeah, I've caught that finals itch. Really appeals to me. Loving the destruction, but I also love the fact that it's just these real short, sharp 15-minute games. You're in, you're out. It's and just perfectly paced within that. And then in the Philippines, I was like playing a fair bit of Pokemon Sword. You know, just I'm making my way through the series. That's what I was up to, and I've like wrapped it. Like I've hit credits in the week since, and I just found that it was probably like my second least enjoyed Pokemon. Like visually, it's great. Love the art direction. That's what kept me. But for whatever reason, it just gets so much of the fundamentals. I just don't feel satisfying, and the grind is just horrible. So yeah, I didn't love
I
it.
agree. No. Have you dabbled in what is the new one, Scarlet and Violet yet?
No, I'm about an hour in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, they really hit you with the kind of technical shenanigans right off the bat. Like there's
Right
no
off the
surprises there. Yep. As soon as you turn that camera, slideshow.
Yeah,
I was like, oh wow.
They do not
And we're on
hide what
version
that
3.
game is not capable of. Exactly right. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how your progression goes with that game. There are pockets of enjoyment to be found. And I think like Jordan talked about this, but like the end stage area that you get to is one of the coolest things in any Pokemon game. But getting there, we'll see.
That's the thing. Like I'm not enjoying the journey as of late, but usually the destination, like those last few hours, are fantastic. They usually got some really cool twists and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Very good.
How about
Very
you,
nice.
Zach?
I polished off Norco, which was fantastic.
How long did that one take you?
10 months.
Yes.
I think it was.
What's that 5-hour game?
I think it is for some people. Yeah. I don't know how you could do this in 5 hours though. That's blows me away
Well,
a
no,
little bit.
like I don't know how you would do it in 5 hours.
12 hours it says. I played it for.
Yeah, that's a 10-monther. Yep. Did you get to
Yeah.
break it up into like nice bite-sized chapters or anything?
No, it was. See, I actually think that was worse. I think I should have just when I played it in bigger chunks or consistently, I was having a lot more fun. Now I think I kind of felt like I was just finishing it to get the pledge done. Even though I still liked it, but I couldn't remember much of like what had gone on, but it was really cool. Like the ending is very cool. I would highly recommend
one I'd
you
endeavour to try out. Absolutely.
Yeah, give it
Still stuck on my pledges list.
Good list. Good list. You should get some games.
You still got
tick some
Pentiment on
games
there,
off.
don't you?
I do have Pentiment.
What, sorry?
Yeah, I've got Pentiment.
Oh.
Yeah, which is next-ish.
That's not a short game. That's another 10-monther for you.
Next-ish. I don't even know what that means.
It means it might be played next. It might not be. Who's to know?
Who is?
And we, Nathan, you and I and Jason, we played some Payday 3
Yes, we did.
for a couple of hours, maybe.
This is
I didn't check up on how this went. How was the session, boys? Is the game vastly better than it
game's
was
still
when we played
fucked.
it?
to cut it short, it's not good. Like all the issues that were there on day one are still there. Look, and they get you right out the gate. Like the first one I noticed, when you navigate in the main menu, right? You would assume that pressing circle or whatever would like take you out. No, you'll need to navigate to like the exit option and select that. Like just so much of it doesn't really make much sense. And we played this in the light of that announcement from the team that they're setting up a task force. They're going to fix this thing.
And that was like weeks ago, right? Or was
Was
that
it?
no?
I thought
no,
it was in the
no,
last
no.
week.
Sorry. I think the one you're talking about, but they put one out. Remember how they were like the server problems and they're like, we've identified that it's
that was in like release month, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry, that's more what I was talking about because we had crashes, dropouts.
I mean, we're still having crashes and dropouts.
Yeah, so like whatever, they've not clearly fixed the server side problems, but because we tried to play one of the new, both of the new ones that are there, like the older ones, the legacy ones, both fucking shut the bed. I mean, we shut the bed once, but the second and third time,
wouldn't give us a chance.
No, the game, like we were literally running to what's the word again? To escape, but it's not escape, is it? Extract. And yeah, the game like fucking crashed as we were running to extract. So it was like 20 to 30 minutes wasted. Then we did the art gallery again, which was actually quite like that mission, and we tried to stealth it, and then I cooked it.
I mean, it's tight, but it doesn't resolve any of the game's glaring issues.
No. Had some fun,
even
though.
fundamentally, it still drives me nutty that I can't like vault or clamor with my mask on. It's such an arbitrary thing that fucks you every time.
Yeah, I don't. Strange, weird.
Well, we'll hope that it improves because I still like the promise of it. But obviously, you got to work pretty hard to meet it halfway.
And the grind is real.
Oh,
like
the grind is still.
It's
they
so
need to
real.
overhaul that shit entirely.
Especially because like when you drop out, like so we had disconnects in a few missions, so we lost any like XP that we would have got. It was gone. Any cash we would have got. And then then they're fucking stingy with the rewards. So we did the art gallery one, and
we robbed all but one bag.
No, I think wasn't that
There was
the
one
bank?
bag left.
Wasn't that the jeweler? I think that was
probably right.
I think
You're
that was
probably right. No, you are right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. My
But
bad.
it was but you're right though. Like the payload was fucking weak.
Yes. It's like enough to buy you.
Nothing.
Well, yeah, nothing.
Like guns are.
And the game still has this lag through menus. Like you can buy cryptocurrency for some fucking reason to buy exclusive weapons. And as I'm buying this cryptocurrency, the bank keeps pinging, yep, you've just bought 1, you've bought 5, you've bought 10. And like, I'm thinking this is great because I've still got like 300,000 cash there. And literally 30 seconds later, an entire half minute later, my bank account just went, zoop, 0. Like, so it's still got like weird lag in the menus, and that's not like just changing inventory as well. Like if you change like customizations on your gun, you got to wait a full 30 seconds for that stuff to clip into the actual game. So you can go out of menus and stuff, and it'll still not show anything. It's just bizarre.
And yeah, like the last thing I'll say, I still don't understand why you can't buy perks and shit within that menu. You have to be like, you know, how
in the lobby.
Yeah, in like the ready because it says add.
The lobby's really restrictive. It's odd.
Yeah. Anyway. We played that, so shout outs to the team.
So sorry.
Is there any reason why a Payday fan wouldn't just go back to Payday 2?
I'm sure that's what they've all done.
Yeah, well, I think concurrently, wasn't it? Like, I think there was some articles saying that three.
Steam's under 800 players
Yeah.
at peak player count globally.
800.
Correct.
800. So that
For-
means, like,
Wow.
if you're, I was saying, Zach, if you're in Australia, that's PC, right? But if you're in Australia, you ain't getting a match. Like, you're playing with bots.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
Whereas Payday, the article did say, but it was more like Payday 2. Basically,
Significantly,
everyone had gone back to Payday 2. The reason why I don't play is because it's a bit dated and the console version's always been a bit shit. So
Right.
That's the sticking point for you. Like, it's going to be console version or nothing, and you
Yeah.
really are taking advantage of the.
yeah. Alrighty, let's. Do we have any reviews to talk about? Very, very quickly, I've got the review for the SteelSeries Alias Pro mic. That's up on the website. You can go read that if you want. The long and short of it, let me just quickly get it up because I don't actually remember what I said. Okay, the website's logged me out. Shout outs.
Seamless.
It's all right, we're back in. What did I say in the thing? Sorry,
Publish it this morning.
I did. Well, I'm trying to think. Do I read the summary or do I read the final thoughts?
Of course.
So the final thoughts are: SteelSeries' first foray into the microphone market is about what you expect from a company renowned for its gaming peripherals, with Alias Pro delivering great audio quality, a simple but well-designed mixer, and solid software tools. However, some slight kinks and a high price stop it from being top of the recommendation pile. I liked it. I think it's fine. I think it's good. I think it's too expensive. And there are some little funny buggers that don't make it a flawless kind of experience. But yeah, you can go and read the full review on the site if you want to check that out. Because this bad boy retails for, I don't know what it is currently, but when it launched, it was $6.99. I think it's like $6.49 now. I think, which is still
price of a console. Yeah.
which is still fucking
yeah.
huge, right?
You get a Switch for that and a game, right?
And a couple of games, I'd say.
Yeah.
Cool.
the more you know.
Reviews.
Quick thoughts on the mouse.
Oh yeah, sorry, the mouse. Yes.
Yeah, so I'll keep this one brief. So this is the Asus ROG Harp Ace AimLab edition. So the pros of this one is it's an ultra lightweight, retailing in at about $189. So this is like featherweight, like it weighs nothing, but it still maintains a good shape. Like a lot of lighter mouses come in quite small. Aesthetically, it's a little bit bland. It's only got the 2 thumb buttons. That's all you're getting in terms of extras. It kind of looks like a 2005 Microsoft Office mouse, and it kind of feels like it too. It's that same kind of very thin, hollow plastic texture to it. So you're either going to hate that or love it. And got a little LED scroll wheel. Yeah, I've had some issues with it wireless. Its wireless connection does seem to get interrupted a little bit. I don't know if it's just an issue with its Windows 10 compatibility. Often it's just resolved by switching to a different channel. It connects to its receiver via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Just switching those usually resolves it. But most of the time I just keep it wired in through so it doesn't have those interruptions while I'm gaming. I think it's a nice little mouse. It's just very aesthetically underwhelming, and it doesn't have any bells or whistles. Like normally I like a little something extra, maybe a couple more programmable buttons. It doesn't have that. And the AimLab edition, that's just a collaboration with AimLab that does like an application that helps folks in like Counter-Strike 2 and stuff get their aim a bit better. It's just shooting targets. Really adds nothing to it other than a blue hue, which is the only personality that it has. So, yeah. Very, very niche pick. Like you really, really want an ultra light mouse to consider this. Otherwise, you're making too many compromises, I think.
What's the?
I just stuck with blue. There's no like.
Oh no! Sorry.
The R's, the G's, and the B's.
It does have the RGs and the Bs, and you can switch them up. But I leave mine a happy teal.
Ah, good
Oh,
man.
man.
That's all it needs.
Towing the company line.
Thank you.
How much is it? Go for?
$189.
Is that, I don't know, like in terms of mice, like where does that sit?
That's like moderate, but the thing is at that price point, you're able to get pretty beefy, like pretty robust wired mice. They're going to have a lot of bells and whistles, a lot more customization on there if you want or need those. If you really don't use those and you just use your 2 thumb buttons and that's it, an ultra lightweight option is nice. But I'm not entirely convinced by the gameplay benefits that are being posited by this, that like an ultra lightweight's going to help you get a sharper aim. I mean, that, you know, every generation's like I said that last generation it was putting weights in your mouse was going to get you better aim. I come from that generation, so I don't know. If you like it, it's a good little buy.
Nice. Good stuff. Jimmy Jams.
So, yeah. What's going on?
You've been spreading your wings, planting your seed over at other domains.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is how I would describe it. So I'm on Kotaku Australia now, which is obviously a nice get for the old Jim Jams. More people, no review scores. Fucking everybody wins. So I've done Power World, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And today I had my Ace Attorney trilogy. Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney trilogy.
Terrific.
Review go up. Yeah. Really liked those little games. I didn't get to finish them in time. It's a lot of games. I got code very late on Friday. But I'm a dual Destinies truther now. So, you know, I'm happy for that. I like a weird middle chapter in a sequel trilogy, obviously. Fun games. Good to see them ported over nicely. Just good shit, really.
Yeah, really solid. Great to hear.
Yeah.
What's sorry, can you just remind me what score did you give those again?
Oh, no scores.
Oh, no scores.
I am
Sorry.
liberated. I am free. And I also got to drop the C-bomb in a subheader. So, you know, we're thriving.
There you go. What are you even doing here?
I know, mate. I wonder that every day.
Sounds like the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, stir controversy over at Kotaku.
That's it. Yeah, that is it.
Very good, very good. All right, let's.
Yeah, Zach's not salty about that at all.
I said very good. You know, I gave you a chance to speak your.
Were you not listening, Nathan, to his words?
He said very good.
Yep. I watched his face too.
Nice work.
That's good.
Right. A couple of reviews that will be going up before this podcast. Sorry. That'll be up. Sorry, when this podcast goes live. We've got a review for Tekken 8 from Jordan and a review for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That's how you say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the correct. Cool.
Yes, that is how you pronounce wealth.
Those are all English words.
Well, I wasn't sure if it's like Infinite Wealth Like a Dragon, but anyway, here we are. So Jordan,
right now with you.
Jordan says Tekken 8 is an equally ridiculous. Tekken 8 is as equally ridiculous as it is sensible. It makes crazy entertaining choices for its story while opening its doors to a more contemporary, wider audience through some systems that increase the game's approachability. He is scored at a 9 out of 10 for the moment.
Let's go.
Hot.
Let's
Might
go.
do.
9.
What's
I
that?
played the demo for Tekken 8 and it is fucking ridiculous. Like it gives you the opening fight of the game, which is Jin versus Kazuya, and it's just absolute chaos. It's wonderful. Very keen to play this game.
Is that a significant like pairing?
Yeah. It's father and son, man.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, that's significant, I guess.
Familial
Father
fighting.
beating his son. Yeah, relatable.
That's it.
Yeah. Thrown into volcanoes and shit. It's Tekken's bread and butter.
I'm so ignorant of Tekken, but I'm glad for you.
Thanks, man.
All right, so Mark's Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth review, he says, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth wears its title on its sleeve, a seemingly endless amount of content to explore wrapped in an emotional and entertaining story. It's Like a Dragon at its very unique best, and he gives that a chunky 9.5 out of 10.
Wow. Hot damn.
Big scores there. If you want to,
This
if you like big scores, keep it locked to well played, eh? Is that right, James?
That's right. Scores. So useful. Got a couple of other shout outs as well this week, don't we?
Do we? I haven't looked.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the doco. Oh yeah, sorry. Mark has been a busy boy. Mark has also done a game called Banshee Nights, I assume is how you'd say that. And he says, a harsh yet engaging narrative drives Banshee Nights down the streets of hell, flanked by vivid violence and stomach-churning scenarios. It's short, but it packs a punch all the same. He gives that an 8.5. Mr. Ash Whaling has reviewed Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. He says Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader not only promises but delivers the very thing that it was designed to be: a meaty, authentic Warhammer 40k game that feels right at home in its RPG trappings. Also scoring that an 8.5.
That's one I'm really keen to try at some point.
Very good, everyone there.
I do appreciate that the Warhammer games have diversified a bit into genres that make sense for its origins. Like there's these big bombastic third-person shooters that kind of get the feel of the massive scale of the battles, but then there's strategy games that because it's tabletop at the end of the day. That's where Warhammer it's where its roots come from. So I like seeing that it's kind of branching out to meet all of those different touch points.
It's quite the rabbit hole on Steam if you look at Warhammer games, because like Games Workshop have that license pretty much open season. Like if you got a pitch, you can make it. So there's all kinds of wild and wacky stuff. There's like visual novel adjacent stuff and all kinds of things.
Yeah, there's so many of those games.
Too many, because like 80% of them are garbage.
Ash Whaling will be hurt by that, but
no, he knows. It's the good ones that shine. And there have been some good ones in the past few years.
Cool. All right, I think that's it for the shout-outs and whatnot. Speaking of Mr. Whaling, he will give a quick shout-out to our sponsors, SteelSeries and the Alias microphones. Mr. Whaling?
SteelSeries is renowned for its innovative and award-winning products that elevate your gaming performance and experience, and the new range of Alias microphones are no exception. Alias microphones feature a capsule that is 3 times larger than most microphones on the market, giving your recording richer and deeper audio. And with the free-to-use Sonar software, AI-enhanced noise cancellation eliminates the background noise that other cardioid microphones will capture. With Sonar, SteelSeries has tailor-made an audio suite that offers the complete solution for content creators who want to manage their EQ levels, personal and stream mix, and it works seamlessly with programs such as OBS and many, many more. Available now, Alias microphones and Sonar features everything you need to take your content creation to the next level.
Lovely work. Thank you once again, Ash, and thank you once again to SteelSeries for sponsoring the WellPlayed DLC podcast. All right, cool. Let's move forward because we have a very interesting topic to chat about, and that is our most anticipated games of 2024. There's an article up on the website. It's quite beefy. Google or WordPress suggests that you should take 28 minutes to read. So good luck with that one.
Anything more than that and you're slow.
That's it.
Your reading speed is slow.
That's it. All right, well, let's go around the room and let's talk about some of our most anticipated games for the year. Nathan, I'm happy to kick it off with you, mate.
I gotta remind myself what games I'd selected, but going from the top, I think was Unicorn Overlord. So the flashy new tactical RPG from Vanillaware, who we haven't seen since 13 Sentinels: Aegis Rim. So these guys, they take their time, but usually produce a banger when they do. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, it sounds like Mark's delivered a pretty promising verdict on that one. So it sounds like it's going to deliver the goods: emotional story, wacky side business, fantastic protagonist. And then there's the big one, Stalker 2. Every year we have this conversation. I'm like, yeah, Stalker 2, but I'm also not expecting it. And I think we might have discussed this last week or so. Apparently there's a final release date, early September. Final, that's a tough word to use in this industry. We've seen it bandied around the day before. Rise of the Ronin. I won't say too much on that. Yep.
Yeah.
I can't remember what else. I had it all under my name in the doc that we've now
moved around. I also got confused by this. Yeah, I've just
glad I'm
name
not
searched
alone.
myself on the website.
While we had that little meandering intermission, a Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, so I don't know really what to expect from this. I kind of have to temper my expectations because it was a game of its time that had so much, even though it was set during the 60s, Cold War, had so much to say about spy thrillers of the time, and it was a great contemporary criticism, and it's an old game that came out 2004 or something. I think they're going to need to modernise it quite a bit. In doing so, make some compromises. If those compromises will hinder the final product, is what I'm kind of scared about. I don't think you could just do a straightforward like retexture of this thing. Like they're going to need to change a bit, and that's got me a little bit worried. And I think finally is Metaphor ReFantazio. So this is one of the Persona teams, because I found out that or one of the Shin Megami Tensei teams are working on this one in lieu of a Persona 6 that we're probably not going to get for a while. This is set in a new universe with new monsters. This is a big deal for this team because normally they always recycle the same kind of Pokemon-like creatures across all their titles and spin-offs. So we're getting something completely fresh here, and this is a great team to produce something original. So I'm super duper excited for that. That's probably my most anticipated RPG. And I think that's the big numbers.
Do you reckon if Stalker was ready for this year, it would have been in the Xbox Direct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I imagine that what we got
given
is the
no
slate.
indication that this thing's like anywhere near ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't hold any resentment against them. Should that be delayed out of September, I think that would probably be a healthy choice. Take as many delays as you need.
Did you say Metaphor, old mate?
ReFantazio?
Yeah, because Rise of the Ronin was KS's, so I wasn't.
It was, but I saw it. I was like,
Nah.
that if we had 8, that was going to sort of cut in. That or Grand Blue Relink. I'm glad you gave me 7 though. I don't even think I counted off 7, but let's assume I did.
No, it was anyway. That's a whole different setup how we ran it. But does anyone, speaking of, if you've looked at the article, have you actually worked out how they are structured?
Alphabetically?
Correct. But at the very, very top are the ones with actual release dates.
Oh, is that right?
So it goes everything that is dated in order of when they're releasing to then things that don't have dates. And then in alphabetical order.
Okay. Yeah, I see you now. Yep.
Guys,
James,
you wanted backpats for that so bad.
James is... What? No, I'm just wondering. Why do I want backpats? That's fucking common sense, mate. Though James is upset.
About what?
The structure.
No, I think it's great.
James wanted a big old pudding of James for everyone to read.
That's it. Just want a fucking melange of words, mate.
Well, give us your words.
Dear.
Give us your words, mate.
Yeah, all right, Alone in the Dark. I don't have high hopes for this, but I do
not
think
after
I will
last
enjoy
trailer,
it.
bro.
Yes, that's... okay, so I've got a mate who really likes these kind of games as well, and he was like, no, I think the voice acting could be like a campy thing. Like, I don't think it's intentionally that, but I like the optimism. So I'm going in with an open heart. I like Jodie Comer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, what's the worst that could happen here? It'll be a middling survival horror game. I love middling survival horror games. So
yeah, it definitely won't not be interesting, right? I think I saw a YouTube comment that made me giggle. It was mean, right? But it was this looks like a great way for the 360 generation to end or something like that. Like a great game to cap off the 360 gen. Because you see that trailer and you go, like you suck in. It's
a little crunchy. Yeah. But on the opposite end of the spectrum is By Sweet Carol. So this is from Chris Darrell, who previously did the Remothered horror games, which were pretty divisive, I would say. I quite enjoyed them, but they were kind of a mess. But By Sweet Carol is like this kind of Disney Silver Age animated horror side-scroller thing where you play as a girl investigating like a haunted... I think it's an asylum of some sort. It feels like it's of that era. Yeah, just looks really, really, really cool. I have no idea how it's going to play yet, but the art direction alone is enough to absolutely make people look it up. So By Sweet Carol, see it, you'll understand why I'm excited about it. EDF6, this one I completely forgot existed, but I am very excited. Earth Defense Force is such a phenomenal series for no reason. It shouldn't work. It should have died years ago. I'm so glad it's still around. These games are just a great amount of fun, like pretty much exclusively in co-op. I don't know if I'd want to do this experience on my own. But if you're unfamiliar with Earth Defense Force, it is you play as the titular Earth Defense Force against invading armies of like building size bugs and reptiles and eventually aliens and then eventually God in one of the games. It was fantastic. I cannot recommend it enough.
And how do you label the caliber of this kind of game? Because AA simply can't apply, and it's not indie.
Yeah,
It's in a very murky liminal space.
It is, isn't it? It is like proper jank, like as if jank was a
Absolutely.
deliberate choice. It's like instead of Euro jank, it's like Japanese jank. It's exceptional.
Very unique.
Very unique, very much so. We've also got. I actually don't know how to pronounce this. It's either Never or Neva. I'm not entirely sure yet because I mispronounced Greece for years. Slash Gree, exactly. This is from Namada Studios, who did that incredible watercolor sort of platformer narrative experience. It wasn't particularly challenging. It was quite short, but I really loved it. And this just looks to be continuing that trend. And then finally, Star Wars Outlaws, because we all deserve some AAA schlock occasionally. It's Star Wars. It's big. It's loud. It's nice looking. The droid is hot. What more can I say?
Nothing more. Nothing more to say, mate.
No.
Beautifully
Good.
succinct.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Adam,
Hello,
tell us about your six-pack.
mate. I would love to. First, Ab off the rank. See what I did there? Like
God.
Ab.
Mm.
Yeah, not bad. Is Angerfoot, because I've got to get my Devolver fix in there. To be reductive, it looks like a first-person Hotline Miami style game. First-person run and gun, you kick doors down, beat the shit out of goons for, level upon level. It looks right up my alley, so I'll certainly be getting around it. Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn is a AA, I suppose, action-adventure game that kind of blends like pirate era aesthetics and weapons with some mystical elements. And you have this like cat fox companion that joins you. I don't know, it's a whole lot of different ideas kind of mushed in together, and I'm very here for it. It looks very cool. Little Nightmares 3. I'm cautiously, I guess, optimistic about this one because Tarzia is no longer in the driver's seat, and Supermassive of all dev teams are getting around it. Yeah, which seems like an odd choice, but I mean, I'm keen to let them cook and see what happens. It's exciting for me though because I played the first two games and Key watched me play them. We both got very invested in them. And 3 introduces 2-player co-op for the first time. So it'll be kind of special because I'll get to play it with my partner who enjoys the series as well. So that's pretty cool. Rose and Locket is right up high on my most anticipated list. This was a game that all 4 of us, I think, ended up playing at PAX last year. It's a side-scrolling action game that has just one of the most striking art styles that I've seen in a very, very long time, and an actually quite a cool premise of a woman hunting down the sins to reclaim her daughter's soul that's trapped in the titular locket. I think it's just an amazingly creative little game, and I'm very, very excited to play more of it, because I think if we went back to the booth another time, they would have started to give us some weird glances, because we were there for quite a while. Another little indie is Ghost Bike, or can't call it an indie, Annapurna's publishing it, but Ghost Bike, it's a semi-open world bike riding game, I suppose, where you collect souls that can like go between the world of the living and the dead. I don't know, it looks like a very relaxing little experience. It's got a nice stylized warm art style, so it looks like something that will just be nice and relaxing for a couple hours. And my last one, which kind of took me by surprise, was Ark Raiders. So this got announced 2021, I think. The initial trailer was fucking awesome. It looked really rad. It looked like it was going to be a co-op experience, like a co-op third-person shooter. It looked fucking awesome. And then they rebranded it as a PvP VE extraction shooter, and I got really fucking sad. But then the finals came out, and it's developed by Embark, and the finals has created an obscene amount of goodwill with me. So I'm hoping that Embark might be able to pivot that goodwill into something that is good in the extraction shooter space. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit too optimistic, but it's revitalized my excitement for the game that I thought was dead and buried. But yeah, those are
Is
mine.
this set in the dinosaur game universe?
Yes.
Oh.
Ark?
No.
Oh,
No.
No, okay.
No.
No.
Ark with a C.
Ah,
Okay.
of course,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Nailed it.
That's it. That's it.
That's how words work.
All right. For me, we've got Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, which comes out in a couple weeks, the 13th of Feb.
Does it?
It does.
Oh, very
13th of Feb. Yeah, very, very exciting, James. Can't wait to talk about that one with you in particular. I know that you and I share a common interest there. This is the third person, like hack and slash, story driven.
You reckon it's going to be very hacky slashy?
Yeah, I've played it. Yeah, it's got
You hack and slash.
You hack and slash, hyphenated even, perhaps. And it, what was I saying? Yeah, sorry, yeah. So it's made by Don't Know It, and it's published by Focus Entertainment. More on them a bit later. And yeah, it comes out very, very excited. It's kind of, it feels like it's a mix of all of what Don't Know It have done before. Maybe so much, not the rock climbing, but, your emotive kind of storytelling with your Life is Strange and you Tell Me Why and stuff like that. And then you kind of action-y RPG-ish, like kind of vampire and Remember Me kind of stuff. So very excited for that one. Then I got Dungeons of Hinterberg, which is the cel-shaded third-person RPG social sim game that looks stunning. It's set in the Austrian Alps, and you play as this tourist who's I can't remember if you're a student, but anyway, you've basically gone to this city to explore these magical dungeons that have popped up in this town. And yeah, there's like 25 dungeons, and you go and play it. And there's like puzzles, like the levels of puzzles as well. It's not just you go and fight them and you thing. Yeah, you got to solve puzzles and stuff. Yeah, and the social sim side of it is when you're not fighting monsters and stuff, you chat with the locals and they either give you tips or you make friends and stuff like that. So looks very, very cool. It's coming to Xbox and PC, and it's coming to Game Pass day one. But looks gorgeous. And I've also got Dustborn, which we've talked about before, so I won't really go into that one again, but that's the one where the words are your weapons kind of thing, and it's made by Red Thread Games. Looks great. Yeah, you're moonlighting, if that's even the right word, as like a traveling punk rock band, and yeah, you're traveling this. You're taking this package across divided states of America, and yeah, that's that one. Another game I added right at the end because we had 38 games, so I had to get Adam and I had to do a sixth one. So my sixth one was Forever Ago, which is a little indie game that's actually been published by Annapurna now. It's been on my wish list for quite a while. It was meant to come out in 2021. It's like a Firewatchy, What Remains of Edith Finch kind of story-driven, narrative-driven sort of adventure game, if you want to call it that, where I think you play as like an older guy called Alfred, and there's like a tragedy that's happened, so you go on this road trip and you're with a camera and you kind of document your travels and stuff like that. It looks very cool. Hopefully coming this year.
That does look cool. I've just watched the trailer for it, and it does. It certainly has the Firewatch feels for sure.
Yeah, and
it does look cool.
The art style is almost like it's almost like a digital or digitized hand animation, if that makes sense. Like I get you. Yeah. It looks very neat. I think it's made by two best friends. I think the team has expanded now since the Annapurna deal, which was a couple of years ago, I think. But initially it was just two developers, and I think they are German. Adam, can you maybe just fact check that? I think they're German, but
certainly can, mate.
Cool. And then I've also got Still Wakes the Deep, which is the horror game from the Chinese Room, which is on the oil rig, which looks really cool, by Secret Mode. That looks really neat. I think coming early-ish 2024. That looks really cool. Chinese Room I do like. They did, I wrote it in the article, but I can't remember, Amnesia something for Pigs, Machine for Pigs? No.
Machine for Pigs.
Yeah, Machine for Pigs.
Yeah.
I always
Did you like a Machine for Pigs?
It was okay. It's okay, but I know that it is very, very popular. But whenever I think of that,
I've only ever heard that it was really divisive. Like I quite liked it.
Yeah.
But I'd heard that was in the minority.
I thought it was always a popular one. Maybe,
No,
maybe.
I think
Sorry, maybe
people
I'm.
miss
Not like it.
Maybe I'm getting. Sorry, maybe I'm getting. When I looked it up just to confirm, maybe I mistook the review scores for popularity. So I think it reviewed quite well.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
I could see that game
yeah,
reviewing well.
Yeah, so that might be my bad. Because I was like, fuck, I don't remember like what this score got. German. Fucking, we love German here. Shout outs. Yeah, so that game looks really, really neat. The premise is, you're on this ore rig and there's like an entity that's come aboard and you got to try and stay alive. There's no combat, so it's one of those kind of games. The last one I had was... Blah. Was that 5 or was that 6? Oh, no, sorry, the last one. How could I forget? God. Broken Sword, Parsifal's Stone. So the new entry in the Broken Sword series. Yeah. That's coming 2024. Or they said it's coming 2024. But yeah, it's kind of gone to a, what they call Super 2D, where it's mixing like 2D visuals and 3D like animation. Backgrounds look pretty neat, but yeah, I think it's, still early. I think they said that the character models and stuff aren't final, which is good because they didn't look overly impressive. But there's an interesting thing that I was listening to Charles Cecil, who's the writer, director of the Broken Sword games. His Adventure X, I think is what it's called, his talk that he did. And he basically kind of said that in order to attract new players, not just bring in the same old players over and over again, to attract new players, they have to kind of go with a contemporary kind of art style. Because I know that a lot of Broken Sword fans, right, like they would love that traditional 2D hand-drawn, almost Disney-esque kind of look that they had that they brought back for 5, but they ditched after 2. So 3 and 4 went down the 3D route, but yeah, 5 brought back to the 2D sort of hand-painted looking one. But yeah, I've found that quite interesting that they could have just gone with what they know the fans of the series want, but they've chosen to do, and they've always made some creative choices, so hopefully it pays off. But I'm keen. More Broken Sword is a good thing. I know Nathan's a little bit keen as well.
Yeah, it's honestly so sick to see that series still putting out new games in 2024. Like, that is surreal to me. That is not a series I expected to go the mile.
It'll be 30 years, 2026.
Yeah, and no discredit to them, just market trends. Like, it's a niche game within a niche genre, but
Yeah.
it's real good.
And if you read the book that I talked about a couple months ago, or a few months ago, early last year, they were on the brink of collapse and could have folded several times, but they somehow found their way.
I believe it.
And now they're self-funded basically, so they're funding Broken Sword, the Shadow of the Templars 4K master-ish, Reforged is what it's called, and this one by itself. So that's great to see. Shout outs to them. Any other quick games that you wanted to give a little shout out to at all?
Only one. Was given the reminder yesterday. It's Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. So this was a game this is a JRPG coming out. We just recently, like 2 months ago, had the fighting game Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, I think it was, which is like definitive version of the fighting game. It's had an anime. I'm not familiar with any of it. It just looks very pretty from the trailers I've seen. Platinum Games were involved at some point. They've since departed. I have no idea how this project's going to unfold, but just cautiously curious.
Nice, good stuff. James, you got any another one you want to?
I was gonna say, I think it's called Songs of Glimmerwick, but I was watching a dev stream recently, and I don't think that game is coming this year, unfortunately. Like, I will will it into existence, but until then, we'll cover it then.
Nice. We will. If you're wondering where the Aussie games are at, we will actually have a separate little piece on Aussie games that we are going to focus on, and we will probably have a chat about it on a future podcast. The start of the year has been a bit wild, I think, for everyone. So apologies if you're hanging out for that piece, but it is in the oven. All right, let's move to what's on the run sheet, because I don't know if the run sheet actually, it does have it, sorry. All right, we might make this a small little discussion topic rather than a news piece, but it's the Xbox Developer Direct. Let's just quickly go through that. because I feel like there's some talking points there. So yeah, we got the new, or the sorry, the second developer direct, developer underscore direct, that showcased 4 or 5 titles.
5, yeah.
5 was 5. Yeah, with one little surprise showing up. And this, I think, this is a good little, I think as a format, it's a good little format. There's been a lot of criticisms and disappointment around the state of play format, like recently. And I think they were quite what's the right word? Forefront? No, it's not the right word. But they were quite open with what was coming. That they said don't expect any shadow drops like with Hi-Fi Rush last year, and you're going to be seeing Indiana Jones, Hellblade Avowed, and whatever the other game was, Ara.
Ara History Untold.
Yeah, so I think they set expectations pretty. They set them rather than kind of going, are we going to see this, and then you're pissed off because you didn't see something. So I thought that was pretty neat, and then they were nice little, that they were curated, they were marketable, that they were nice little segments that were fine. They showed off the games, and we got to see Avowed and Indiana Jones for the first time, and we got a release date for Hellblade 2, which is fuck man. If they didn't have a release date for that by now, then fuck me running.
Around the corner though, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would have expected to get a release date for that because it was shown off at the Game Awards, but obviously we didn't get a date then, so they're obviously saving it for this. But let's go around the room. How'd you find the developer direct?
Go Adam.
Anyone start?
I'll kick off. Yeah, I think the general structure of it is really, really strong. So coming off, because the first one obviously gave us, I think, Hi-Fi Rush as the surprise is hard to follow, but I think they did a really good job of maybe setting the tone going forward. So they brought in Visions of Mana. It's not something that'll speak to everyone, but it'll be a nice surprise for some. And getting a gameplay reveal will be, massive to fans of the series because it's a very long-running, ongoing series. But it doesn't promise the world. So they're not doing back-to-back shadow drops or, announcing another gigantic, I don't know, a new Gears title. I don't know what the fuck Xbox has, but, they're not kicking the door down with another massive announcement. I think they're tempering expectations, but still keeping it a little bit exciting. I think if they didn't have anything to show that was a surprise, it would maybe have bummed people out. But the fact that they did have a little surprise and what it actually was, Visions of Mana, was a really good showing. We'll get into the specifics of the games, but yeah, as far as the layout's concerned, I don't really have any notes. I like seeing developers be able to talk about their games, and you see a bit of behind the scenes, even though it's a very curated look at them. I still think it's important to be showing the in progress view of games because I don't know, a lot of people don't understand that games take time and effort to make. They just assume that they pop out of the ether. So yeah, any little behind the scenes look I think is important as well.
James, you've been a big lover of Xbox. How did you find?
Yeah, historical supporter. Fine. Yeah, it was a direct. I think it's a format that works for Nintendo as well as it works here, and usually works for Sony when their fans don't whip themselves into a frenzy for no reason. I think to Adam's point about Visions of Mana being the nice surprise addition here, if it had been an Xbox exclusive, I think I would have been more on board with that train of thought. I think having a multi-platform... okay, I should also say as well, I understand why this is here from an Xbox market share point of view. They're trying to push further into sort of the JRPG vague amalgamation of areas in development. And I think having it there for visibility is great. But it's, it's not like it's an Xbox brand. And so I think having it under...
that series is so long past its prime. I couldn't even get excited with that. That's no disrespect on the series. It's it's ebbed and flowed, but
Yeah.
no one's watching that, seeing that, other than a very small subset of that community getting excited. Like, it's not a Final Fantasy or a Kingdom Hearts. It's one of Square Enix's whatever.
But I mean, you could say the same about was Ara History Untold, right?
Ooh,
That
that
looks
game
like
got
it's
me
for a very
excited.
niche
But
market.
yes,
so,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's good that directs take time to appeal to different core fan bases, right? It can't all just be first person AAA experiences. There needs to be a balance there. I don't know. It was fine. It was fine.
Yep. Nathan?
Yeah, nice and pacey. I like that there was a good distribution of time between all 5 titles, I thought, But, I would be encouraged to see the developers be able to speak a little bit more off script. Like some of those sequences with the devs just kind of talking about things was very fluffy, very rehearsed. But then we got to the gentleman that's doing sound design and experimenting with binaural audio on Hellblade 2. And this was a guy that was excited about his job. And I got absolutely drawn in. Like, what they're talking about, the atmospheric sound in that game, is actually genuinely exciting. It's a game I wasn't really keen for, but that aspect alone and what they're able to do with that, having heard that approach to sound design in other games, like Inside, and how that was developed in a similar way, like, that's so ambitious. And I got to, I got to really grasp the ambition that's occurring in that studio. Everything else is just like, yes, we are happy workers. We are doing the video game. We are all happy. And I don't know, whatever.
That very expected, like, here at Xbox, we like players. Like, yeah, okay, put your hands down.
Before Steve takes me to the bathroom and beats me up. Like, I don't know what's going on in those studios, but yeah, that was super exciting. I'd love to see more of that. Just, let the weird nerds that are doing the really niche shit in development go off script and get really excited, because that got me excited.
Yeah, I mean, we got to kind of, I mean, if you want to call it a look behind the curtain, there was some stuff at, was it it might have been the Hellblade one where they were doing like the mocap stuff, and I wish we got to see more of that stuff. I wish that, because they must document all this shit, right? So I wish there was some more, like, even if it's like in-house made like documentaries, very safe stuff, but just look at how these things are made. It's kind of like when you and I, James, when we went to Singapore for Skull and Bones, right, and we got to walk through the studio, and yes, again, it was very prepared. It was a very prepared experience, but it still gave us a look at how this stuff is done, right? Like what environment these people work in, and what goes into actually making what we play.
Yeah. It's a dual quality of, like, it humanizes the people that make games. That's great. And it also demystifies the production process. Like, these things shouldn't be kept under lock and key for 7 years while they work on it. Like, I think it should be a more open process about things need to get made, and it takes time and effort.
Yeah, well,
I think it's
no, go.
Sorry,
Please
Zach,
go.
go for
No,
it.
go. No, you go. Mine's not a different point, so.
Cool. I was just going to say, I think it's a tricky balance, because looking at, Ara, for instance, when I was putting together the wrap-up, they do have a consistent stream of developer updates where they do behind-the-scenes shit. And it was similar in a sense with, there was another game, I'm not going to be able to remember it, but it's tricky, right? Because you can put these out on YouTube and the mega fans will go there and they'll see it. It's harder for these bigger directs or showcases or whatever, because if you remember back to like E3 times where they would do the conference and they'd say, now stick around for after the conference and we're going to do an in-depth deep dive into whatever game it is that we're talking about. If you looked at viewership, it fucking plummets. Like on these bigger stages, it's hard to keep people's attention, especially when it's not just like a flashy trailer or a deep dive into systems that are completely done. I'm not saying that we shouldn't see these behind the scenes looks, but if you don't curate them, I fear that you alienate people and people stop caring. So I'm just saying that it must be a very hard balancing act to try and get people invested and keep their attention.
So
yeah, some people just see it as like they're vegetables that they've got to consume in order to get that tasty game.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. And
Well,
like,
they
I
should
definitely
have
want to
their
see,
veggies.
yeah, I want to see the behind the scenes things, and I want to see them highlighted on a bigger stage. I just don't know how you do it effectively. and still, get the views that you want.
So just for so we're understand, I'm not talking about we see these behind the scenes at these developer directs. I just mean like documentaries that we can have access to, whether it's part of a game, whether they're worked up on YouTube. Because I'm right there with Adam said. Once a bloody 2-hour Xbox conference at 3 a.m. in the morning is done and it finishes at 5 a.m., there's no fucking way I'm hanging around to fucking watch whatever it is, But if you bung that up on YouTube, like I'll probably check it out, at a later date kind of thing. But it's just more like what Ubisoft, fucking Naughty Dog did with Last of Us, right? This kind of making of, and this look at how the game is made, and I just wish more games, included that as part of the package or the product, if you want to call it that. Yeah, so not like, I get that. Yeah, these things have got to be paced and, like you said, curated correctly. Otherwise, people don't give a fuck during the show. But I just more mean like an actual look at how shit's made.
It's going to sound real petty, but like that's going to be an additional expense.
Of course, yeah.
Put that together, and
but they obviously
the way things are at the moment.
But they clearly do it though, like so. They clearly film all this stuff. So there's got to be some fucking intern with his finger up his ass in one of the cubicles, like who's got something to do. Like, you know what I mean? Put on the portfolio.
Just a little insight into how you treat a stack.
Mate, if they can fucking spend, no, actually, I'm not going to say that.
There's money to throw around. Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
That's a much nicer way of putting it. All right.
Diplomatic.
Okay, let's go through the 4 titles. James, how did you feel? 5 titles. How did you feel about Avowed?
Oh, look. I didn't love the Outer Worlds, and so it's put me on a bit of a back foot with Obsidian. I have actually recently been playing KOTOR 2, and that game is incredible. I'm having the best time. I don't know if that Obsidian exists anymore. Looking at Avowed, I don't know. I just don't know. I think it's a little wonky. It's actually something I want to talk about with Indiana Jones as well, but I just don't know about this one. I think the concept of the setting of like a hero character going to a mysterious land affected by an odd plague. Cool, I'm on board with that. The key art was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life,
wasn't it? Yeah.
But the gameplay itself, I don't know. It's a first-person magic slinging game, and it looks like one of those. And I don't know. For me, it's just all about the quality of the writing in those quests. And I hope that this is more Pentiment Obsidian than Outer Worlds Obsidian, I guess.
It's funny that you bring up the key art, right? I feel like that has that is a gorgeous key art, but
very much.
I feel like that is almost the biggest takeaway from that whole show, which I think is not a positive thing.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Nathan, how'd you feel about Avowed?
Yeah, so like obviously at some points they had like developers talking about it, and they didn't demystify it in any way. So again, that real fluffy, talk was all about it. But the thing that I had was, like James, the writing, world building, and all that is there. I'll be along for the ride, no problem. But the combat had me a little bit lost. Like it didn't look very dynamic, especially coming off games like the Avium Immortals of Avium, right? That game was so dynamic. Like you do not stand still for a second in that game, and you're up and down and all over the place. This was very, I don't know, kind of remind me of like an Elder Scrolls or like old Fallout. We're kind of like well past that now. Really stilted, not very weighty combat that's very up close. So I'm a bit nervous. I didn't think that the combat looked like it's something that would sustain me for that runtime, particularly because we didn't see much in the way of variety. Like we saw a lot of the same enemy types, a lot of the same weapon types, a lot of the same skills being used. There was nothing that made me go, I'm really excited to see where it goes from here if this is all we're being shown. That's me being super critical. I'm actually quite keen on this. I just don't think it's going to get any Game of the Year awards.
Look, not my kind of game, so I'm not probably really one to judge.
I wouldn't think so.
But I found that voice acting to be quite terrible.
Yeah,
Quite
it didn't
terrible.
quite click for me either.
it looked.
Very rough.
I mean, sorry, it sounded bad. Like, I don't want to, kick, but that was bad. Anyway,
I played too many like Japanese games with English voiceover. That wasn't bad to me, but I was like, it wasn't the standard I was expecting.
I feel like it's hard to get bad voice acting these days. Like, you play like a lot of indie game stuff, and there's just some stellar voice acting going around. Like, and there's tons of quality talent, but like it was just. I mean, that might be a placeholder. Might be like one of the devs maybe just had to jump into the booth and fang off some lines and just
Like
to
the
get.
old days.
But yeah. Anyway, do we think it's going to release this year?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Sure. Go on then.
They released a like an extended behind the scenes look at it, which included a bit more gameplay, and still more of that same section, which they were like, oh, it's just a totally optional area. Like, this is just a small kind of part of the game. But for me, like, looking at the rhythm of the combat, it makes me think it's a bit earlier than it probably needs to be to release this year. But who knows? Games tend to come together in the last few weeks, apparently. So.
I think it will, because I think Xbox has a reputation of delaying, and I think because they've actually finally put a label, sorry, not a label, a date on this game, I think they're gonna. I think it'll come out, but I think it'll.
Well,
it'll,
they've put a window on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
it's
yes,
fall 24.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
Fall,
which is
fall.
what, Q2, I think. No, how
Yes.
fall would be. So it's their fall, which would be
Autumn?
our
Spring,
Q4, I think.
September?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Q4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Q4.
So that's the end of the year. So they've got a
Gee,
whole
that
year.
took us a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they fucking do these seasons bullshit. Just say Q4.
Exactly.
Like, how fucking
Set us
hard is
free.
it?
That's global.
Mate, that's some free advice there for you, Microsoft. All right, second one is probably the biggest one of the, well, in terms of probably excitement from the WellPlayed team, I would say. And that would be Senua's Saga. Hellblade Sacrifice. Fucking Hellblade Sacrifice. God. Hellblade 2. Oh, it's so close. I've not played the first one, so for those that have played the first one and are keen on the second, talk to me.
Adam?
Yeah, I think this looks fucking mint. So when you were talking about games that you'd like to see behind the scenes bits from, I'll gobble up any developer diary behind the scenes, how they put this game together that I can get my hands on, because I think that the first was a very special little game. It had kind of janky combat, but I didn't care whatsoever, because just everything else about the package was so stellar. It tells a very thought-provoking story in a way that probably hasn't been done as well before, at least. And I think Hellblade 2 kind of takes all of those ideas and then just kind of, I mean, obviously expands on, visual, audio, all of that jazz. But from what they're showing, it also makes the combat and like the moment-to-moment gameplay more satisfying and more engaging. So if they can marry those two things together, I think it will be spectacular. And yeah, getting a release date fucking finally, because they've shown this off a few times and it's always ended on the 2024, and it's just slowly sapping away at my soul. So the fact that I can circle a date on my calendar.
Sorry, window it?
No.
I don't think they ever windowed it before until now.
I'm not sure about a window, but yeah, they've been very coy with it. So it's good to know when we can expect it.
How do you feel that it's going to be digital only and the same length as the first one? Given, and this is the latter part of that question, given that it's been in development for probably, 6-ish years? Maybe more?
I am completely fine with length. I don't think saying, oh, but you've been developing it for 6 years, it should be 3 times the length. Sure, we've waited a long time. I don't think length is indicative to quality. Like, I'm happy if it's a tight little experience that's going to be as effective and affecting as the first game, or more so. Fantastic. More power to you.
My question is
not
more that
yet
should a game,
not-phased.
I know, like, should a game this long take this long?
I don't know. I don't develop games.
I feel
mate.
like 6 years is a long fucking time though for a game like that to be in development.
I would imagine that
It's shifted. At some point.
Microsoft needs a
Home run.
like a premium product.
Yeah.
Right. They need an adult game. And I think that this has the potential to be that. Also has the potential to not. That first game was very esoteric and weird and wonderful.
It looked like a mass market game. It very much was not.
It certainly wasn't. Yeah.
Yes. So marketing this as such is... Yeah. It's an interesting choice, but like I do think this thing needs to be as close to perfect as it can be for the sake of the broader Xbox brand. And so if you've got Microsoft in the background being like, we can afford to give you another year and a half to polish, go for it. I think it's, if that's what's happened, that's wonderful. There's also the possibility it just changed directions a bunch of time during development. So who knows?
I think that, I think that is a separate conversation that we obviously can't have because we got no fucking clue about what goes on behind closed doors. But there must be a lot of money wasted on changing directions and shit like that. But anyway, Nathan, how do you feel about Hellblade 2?
Yeah, it certainly turned me around. Like as I just mentioned, the first game left me cold. It's not that it was anything but a good game; just didn't enjoy playing it. Certainly enjoyed the experience of it, and to see that they're expanding the experiential aspect of this in a big way. The fact they're putting so much love and artistry into the audio visuals in experimental ways, it sounds, has me very tickled. But like I say, this is not going to be a game for everyone, despite the that surface appeal looking like it's a God of War adjacent type thing. I'm quite tickled after that developer director because I was kind of a bit indifferent. I was like, yeah, the trailers are super sexy, but is this something I actually want to play? After that, particularly with the little background talk about the audio and stuff, I'm like, oh hell yeah, I need to try this.
Solid.
So that's pretty positive.
Very cool. Well, that is coming May 21st this year. Digital only. Game Pass Day 1, as you know, because it's an Xbox first party. Did the first one come to Xbox? To PlayStation eventually?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It did,
yeah,
right.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, right. Wild, eh? $50 US, I think, was what I read. I don't know how much that's going to translate to just Aussie dollars, maybe 80,
Sounds
70.
Like a 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. Then we got Ara. Was that next?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it the surprise? I can't remember which one came first.
That was our midway point. Okay.
So then we had a little bit of a surprise, and we got the next game in the Mana.
Yeah,
Picky Poison
context, I think.
Mana, which is Visions of Mana, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
And I know fucking nothing about this, so if anyone wants to jump in and take over, looks like a Nathan game.
Yeah, like I'll probably give it a go. I don't know if it's a day one thing for me. Like this is a classic series for Square Enix. This has been around since, I don't know, 89 or something. Like this is a very long spanning series. I think what sets this apart for Square Enix, what is kind of uncommon for them, is that this uses like real time actions, real hacky slashy. But I never found it to have a lot of depth. It's usually just mashing the same couple of buttons for the same result, hours upon hours. And just, there was some open world or like open zone exploration going on, fighting some monsters in the world, but it all kind of looked a little textureless, kind of looked a little like this is the B team kind of thing. I don't know. I'm being especially harsh on it. I don't really know what to expect here. I just wasn't quite blown away with what I saw.
There is something lost. The art direction and concept art for the Mana series is so gorgeous and so striking to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I see it translated into this kind of weird 3D anime look, and it just kills it for me. I really do not like the translation at all. But I want to like this. The dog was cute. That's kind of it.
I'm in the same boat as you. I want to like this, so I'll reserve. I always reserve space for about a half dozen JRPG disappointments each year, and I hope this one's a winner, not a loser.
Very nice. And then we got I can't remember what's actually yeah, Ara, but that's not the full name.
Mystery Untold.
Mystery Untold, which is like a city builder. History. Sorry. Again, this looks like it's up. Nathan, you love your city builders, don't you?
Yeah, I got really excited when I saw this. I had no idea what it was. Is this a game that's been announced previously, or is this the first time we'd seen it?
Yeah, it was announced previously, but it hadn't gotten anywhere near as much detail. It was just, hey, we're making this thing, and that's about it. So this was the big meat and potatoes reveal for them.
So just a very aesthetically pleasing, what looks to be 4X game. So, expand, exploit, exterminate, whatever the fourth one is, your Civ-like games. But I think there's just going to be a couple of interesting decisions that is going to set this one apart. Apparently, this isn't actually part of what was shown, but I saw an article afterwards. The game's going to let you in on the fact that you've basically hit a point of no return. The next 5 hours that you spend here are just you're doomed to fail. It gives you an out nice and early, telegraphs that for you. I thought that was fantastic because I've definitely overcommitted to doomed games of Civ and lost hours upon hours, and that wasn't great. So I think it's going to take an established formula and hopefully do some cool things with it. But I don't think this is anything super revolutionary. Just going to tickle an itch.
Nice. And that is coming Visions got
a window, yeah?
Yeah, Visions of Mana is summer, so our winter. And this one is
fall.
Fall, so again in the spring.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then the big reveal, the big finale, the juicy one we got was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So we finally got to see Machine Games' take on Indiana Jones. They're using Harrison Ford's likeness, Harrison Ford's take on in Indiana Jones, or his younger self as Indiana Jones, because it's set in the middle.
Yeah, between Raiders
and
and Last Crusade.
Okay. Yeah. And we got Troy Baker as the voice actor for for Indiana Jones. How did we feel about that?
About Troy Baker or the game?
How do we feel about Troy Baker first? How do we feel about Troy Baker's Harrison Ford impersonation?
I felt like it was Troy Baker. I don't know. He was fine, I guess.
Okay.
I think it's, I don't know. It's fucking hard, right? So if you're going to take someone's likeness and then put and Harrison Ford has such a distinct voice.
Mm-hmm.
So to use his likeness and then put someone else's voice to his face, I don't know. It just felt really weird. I know I get the appeal of having Harrison Ford plastered on an Indiana Jones product. I do. I understand and I get it. I feel like if it was just an Indiana Jones, it had a completely different model and it was Troy Baker's voice, I think I would care a little bit less. But the two together just, I don't know, it didn't vibe with me at all.
Yeah, I was all set up for. I had in my mind that this was going to be an original indie, and I'm going to expect new likeness, new whatever. So we're not tied to any canon. I don't know if I'm a little bit disappointed that they have to squeeze themselves in between two films and potentially, cut off a little story ambition. I don't know.
It feels a bit Star Wars product.
Yeah, that's a well put.
67,000, where it's this one's set between Anakin picking up this rock, and by the time it lands, when he threw it, it's a bit unfortunate.
I was surprised. to see the likeness and that they were fully committing to establishing it within the existing IP, etc., etc.
But we finally found out that it's going first person. There are some kind of third person traversal, I think, moments.
Yeah,
but but the game is essentially a first person action adventure game. You've got a whip. You've got something else. I can't remember.
A whip.
Yeah. A whip and a pistol seem to be kind of the main combat.
But right from the start, we kind of it seems like it's got that Machine Games flavor. It's got that villain aspect to it, where you kind of feel like the villain's going to play a big part of the story, as they kind of do in the Wolfenstein games. Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm not sure how I really felt about the overall thing. It looked fine. I'm not, I'm not, in love with Indiana Jones to begin with, but it's on Game Pass, so I'll give it a crack. But I thought it looked okay. James, how'd you find?
Nathan, earlier when we were talking about Alone in the Dark, you brought up that YouTube comment that was like, it's good to see the Xbox 360 era get its swan song. This is like watching a Wii game get a fucking swan song. I think this looks rough. Yeah. I think it looks clunky and slow and oddly animated. I don't see any of the machine games charm that I like in here. I'm not vibing with whatever this is.
From a gameplay, you mean? Or just overall?
Yeah, I just think like machine games is so much about like that visceral,
frenetic
immersive kind of like speed for exactly right, and this is just it's so slow, and I get that they're fundamentally different experiences than like Wolfenstein. I totally get that, but I think in whatever they've done to translate with the whip combat and everything, it just looks as if I should be sitting there like flicking a Wiimote and just been like, yeah, I'm Indiana Jones, and I don't know. It's sort of like the same issue I have with the Avowed stuff, where I don't know what happens in a Microsoft studio, but there's a good idea, and then it goes through the Microsoft machine, and it comes out as this kind of okay looking version of itself. And I just think it's interesting that I'm seeing it happen across multiple franchises here, with the exception of Hellblade.
I know I'm almost probably conspiracy theorist here, right? But I swear that Game Pass is the reason for this. There's a certain level of, I don't want to say budgetary like requirements, but Game Pass has a ceiling, right? Like I don't think you're going to get those expensive first party games like you get from a Sony thing when you're relying on subscriptions. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I got no fucking idea like what I'm talking about, right? But I feel like Game Pass, it's gonna eventually over time, the more expensive these things become to make, games in general, everything costs more to fucking do. So you got to pay people more kind of thing. So I just think there's a limit to what it's like. Okay, we're not going to sell. We're going to sell 100 units, at retail, right? For example, but we're going to get 1,000 downloads. So, but the downloads don't translate into as much. I don't know. I just feel like there's a little bit.
I do just want to clarify as well. Like, I'm not necessarily talking about budget here. Like, it's not raw production quality. It's more the formation of ideas and overall art direction. For lack of a better term, there's a lack of vibes to a lot of what Xbox puts out. And I think this Indiana Jones game is a really good example of something that should work. And then the end product that we're looking at the moment is just a very, like you said before, you think it looks fine. And that's broadly our reaction to a lot of Xbox IP at this point. It's like, oh yeah, that looks like a video game. And you can, I don't know. I want more from what they're putting out.
Yeah.
That's probably not controversial for me to say. I feel like I've been poo-pooing a lot, but actually I thought this was all round a really cool direct. But this was probably the game that I took least of a liking to, and it's because as I was watching that gameplay, it was only reminding me. I don't know if anyone ever played this, but Activision did a 007 Quantum of Solace game, so they took an established movie license. They did the whole we'll get Daniel Craig's likeness and everything, and it was just a shooter of just set pieces and slow like animations and stuff, and that's kind of what I was seeing in that trailer. Like a lot of kind of look like set pieces, and all these animations that I assume that you're locked into when you're whipping people. And I'm like, where's the dynamic flavor if I've got to sit through one of these every time I engage someone? I'm just going to want to get the pistol out and start dropping folks, but I don't know, just a weird showing, I suppose.
Well, don't forget, they also reminded you that you can pick up a shovel and go stealthy. So many options.
I did forget that. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know.
Just
particularly on this one.
Adam, balance us out.
Nah, I can't because I don't think this looks great either. But so for years, it's been when we talk about or when anyone talks about the Uncharted series, they're like, oh, it's the video game version of Indiana Jones. I think that's for a reason, because Indiana Jones, like as a character in those movies, I really like Indiana Jones. I'm not a super fan by any stretch of the imagination.
They're fun.
A video game adaptation doesn't really work. Like, he's an archaeologist that avoids getting into firefights. He runs away from boulders. Like, there's these set piece moments, but it's nothing that translates overly well into a video game. What you could do is take portions of it, build it up a little bit, and make it a shooting gallery that has platforming segments and puzzle solving, which is it's Uncharted, and we have that. And I think it's going to hurt because there's going to be comparisons, regardless if it's first person, third person, really doesn't matter. There are going to be comparisons to, all right, well, we had Indiana Jones, but a video game. Now we've got an Indiana Jones video game, and I just think at the end of the day, Uncharted is still going to come out as I guess the better game of the two. I'm not saying it's the better license or whatever, but yeah. Also, just make it third person. For fuck's sake. You're playing as Indiana Jones. I want to see my Indiana Jones. It's the same gripe I had for Avatar. You're playing as an 8-foot blue alien, and I can't fucking see them unless I'm riding my Ikran. Like, what the fuck? Why?
I reckon it was
Harrison Ford
deliberate.
agreed to 6 hours of his face, and that's it. So you got to spread it out somehow.
I do reckon that was a deliberate choice to separate it from Uncharted and your Tomb Raiders. Because I think if you did it as a third person, everyone would just be like,
I agree.
It's just another Uncharted. Or, yeah.
Well, but now it's a lesser product in total. Also, it's going to have those really irritating transitional moments. Like, there were a few in the trailer where it whips from first person to third person to see you swinging something, and then back into first person. I hate that shit. I'm not about that. It's like I know the Deus Ex games did that, the newer ones.
Yeah, the last two.
And I always thought every time it happened, can you just pick a fucking lane? Like, I like it as a first person game. I would like it as a third person game. I don't want it to be a hybrid of the two. And I think for indie in particular, if they're going to be doing big set piece moments and have you swinging, it's going to be really disjointed. I can't see how they're not going to make it disjointed.
Let's hope they surprise us.
Let's hope they
Fingers
surprise
crossed.
us. Fingers
Great
crossed.
Circle sounds like shit too. Terrible name.
It does. It's awful, isn't it? And especially because Dial of Destiny was right there recently, which is a great name for a pretty average movie, but...
that has been dated. Sorry, windowed. Oh, it just says 2024. So, yeah.
So next year.
There we go, eh? I think these will all come out this year. I'm confident. But anyway, very good.
Buddy just got like a shiver. He's like, that feels like a milkshake bet.
I've still got to cash in on the other two at some stage. All right, let's move on to the news. James, what do you got for us?
Love news, especially when there's such good news as this. This afternoon, Riot Games laid off 11% of its staff, approximately 530 jobs. This was announced on Twitter sort of simultaneously as the redundancy emails went out as well. So it is just a nightmare of a situation for these people that have been affected. It's a huge amount of layoffs. They said in both statements it's effectively because since 2019, Riot Games had been over-investing and overreaching in a lot of their goals and ambitions, and now they wanted to like really refocus in on games, bring everything sort of back in line and make it a studio with a sharper focus again. The next paragraph of the email is them also talking about how esports, entertainment, and music are also the focus now as well. So fucking who knows? It just seems like another horrible year for layoffs in the industry.
And then they cancelled they shut down a project and cancelled another, I think.
Yeah, they had an initiative.
Yes. Or initiative,
where they would allow smaller devs to do things with their IP, and to this date, there's been super cool stuff come out of it. I don't think anything's missed.
No, Riot Forge was the name of it.
Riot Forge. Yeah, I was genuinely looking forward to these games. I haven't played much of them, but they look fantastic.
But there's another one.
That's it.
Like Project Babel or something like that they talk about.
I'm sure there was.
Anyway, but
I got caught up on a lot of the email, but
yeah, I think not that I agree that this is the right way to go about it, but I think maybe that simultaneously announcement is maybe is to put them in control of the announcement rather than...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Rather than like email. Again, I'm not saying that this is how people should find out, but I think that's probably why they did it, so that, there's no like leaking this email to whoever it may be. It's
Yeah, I think like the push to be openly transparent about like, hey, this is what we sent our employees, because they also posted the internal email on their website as well, which listed like a bunch of different redundancy sort of programs they've put in place to help support the people that have been affected by this. To me, trying to present yourself as like, yeah, we're fucking over 500 people, but we're doing it in the nicest way possible, and we deserve an applause for that. Because there's no other reason to do this, right, than to soften the public image blow that this causes to your company.
Absolutely.
I think it's slimy. I don't care for it.
In saying that though, the redundancy packages that they are getting seem to be quite good. It's like 6 months of pay. There was some more things I can't remember. There was some more like there's some programs they're doing. I think
they get medical up until the end
and a
of
laptop.
their employment date, and a laptop. Yeah, like we know that looking for jobs is hard, so you can borrow a laptop from Riot. Like, okay, cheers on your Riot.
Yeah.
Which yes is better than nothing, but again, it's the same thing we're seeing across the entire industry with like Kotaku's got like a running tally at this point. It was 3,800 layoffs already this year, so this pushes us into the 4,000 range. This doesn't affect the CEOs. This doesn't affect the sort of operational top dogs of these companies, right? Like if you've rapidly expanded too much, cut back elsewhere rather than culling 500,000 people's lives. I don't know.
And the other thing that is slightly odd, I don't know, maybe I'm not too sure how redundancy works, right? But they're giving 6 months pay, which is, it's like, could you not hang on for another 3 to see if the ship turns, kind of thing? And maybe the CEO or the the corporates or the they take a X amount of pay cut. Of course they won't, right? But and then it's like maybe in 3 months we're back on track, kind of thing, because we have more people to help steer the ship in this sharper focus. But nah, we'll just fuck them off, pay them for 6 months, and we get our bonus.
Yeah. The email as well, I noted this in my news piece, but like the redundancy thing had a hey, we're offering you 6 months of redundancy as per local law. Like, okay, cool.
Okay. Right.
And then when they were
wondering.
like, yeah, we're also giving you continued access or limited access to your staff email. And then like there's another line that's like, despite the fact that this is uncommon in instances like this, like what do you want? Like, why are you seeking validation on this? Like, I don't know. It's bad email.
Yeah.
HR's getting paid though.
Oh yeah.
But it's just on the whole Kotaku, or just the whole thing really. It's fucked. It is, and this is just January. There's more to come, unfortunately.
Well, it has to have flow-on effects outside of its own industry. I mean, these are human lives in what is supposed to be the most profitable entertainment industry. And where do they take their skills? Where do the new skills come in? Great loss.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know the full extent of everyone's profit and loss ratio, but I feel like a lot of companies are making profits, and big ones, and we're still cutting. It's a shame, because we had a little smaller announcement. I know that CI Games is losing. I think they also did 11% of their staff or something like that. They're obviously a lot smaller. I think I read, it might have been, Ash might have dropped it in Slack, or someone did. A lot of it is like marketing and stuff like that. There's only a handful, I think, of actual developer job losses, but I'm not sure how true that is. But again, it was just like they need to stem the bleeding kind of thing and refocus. And then there was another company that I can't remember who it was. Sorry, but yeah, it's just fucked.
Yeah.
It just, and stuff like this makes me feel like new IPs and stuff like that are going to get less and less. They're already less now, but they're going to get even less. Yeah. And I think we're going to see more remakes, more things that are guaranteed to
like safer bets.
Yeah, to get cash, right? Like, which is shit. Like, fucking sucks.
Agreed.
agree.
On the topic of games that are remakes of other games, Palworld
Hey.
has sold over 6 million copies and has 1.7 million concurrent Steam players at its height. That is
A record,
absurd.
right?
Yeah. I think it's been like 4 days the game's been out. Like, and this is a game that's also on Game Pass, both PC and console. There is technically no imperative to outright buy this thing, and it has popped off. Has anyone here dabbled in Palworld other than me?
My partner has.
Okay.
She was like she couldn't get past the whole surface gimmick of it all. She's like, it's a little bit thin.
It's a very thin game. It's an amalgamation of like Breath of the Wild, Monster Hunter, Pokemon, Elden Ring, like just every popular open world survival experience you can think of. They've just crammed it all into one game with some designs that feel very reminiscent of Pokemon. I understand technically why maybe this is taken off the way that it is. I think there are a lot of people who are craving this kind of experience. Like we were talking before about Green Hell, and like even in a bad game, I enjoy those systems, and I think Palworld is tapping into that, but stable servers with your friends, plus guns, plus the meme factor, like the joke of Palworld. But I mean, the developer's been pretty open about its love of AI recently, so that's a whole other fucking problem. Just a huge sales boon to kick the year off.
It doesn't have a sharp drop off in its near future. I wonder though.
That's it. Yeah.
Do we think Nintendo will come after it?
Nah, I think there was some game journo did a report where like she spoke to a bunch of actual lawyers about this, and they were like, "There's not really much you could do in this situation." Like the designs are very reminiscent, let's say, but like everything in Palworld is reminiscent of something else. A lot of Nintendo titles as well. I don't think they can pin them for anything other than just poor taste.
Fair.
Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of poor taste, absolutely.
Focus. What are you doing, buddy? So Focus Entertainment has decided that it's going to change its name to Pull Up Entertainment. This is Pull Up with both P's capitalized on either end, just for good measure.
This is one of the.
Exactly.
So really? Is that actually what they've done?
So Adam, that means every time you write pull up, you're expected to capitalize the end P.
I know, right?
Don't nod. Now this shit. Yeah, exactly.
At least Don't Nod was the same name, but just the stylization changed there. It was, I mean, fuck me running. This is there's a reason behind it.
I see what they've done.
They want to
I get it because it's a what do you call it?
It's a
same shit.
Palindrome.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But this is to consolidate or to what's the there actually is a fucking thing that they put out. I don't remember what it said though, but it's basically like to consolidate the 3 different divisions or something like that under one blanket.
I'm kind of skimming over it now. The studios division, which includes the 7 creative studios, Deck 13, Straumann, 12 Tenths, Lekia Studio, Blackmill, Dovetail, and Carpool, are now Pull Up. Fucking atrocious. It's just awful.
That's all I can think of, Nathan. When Pull Up, it for fuck's sake.
Why?
It's like, what was Play On before?
Koch Media or Koch Media. But no one could know.
Who the fuck knows media? Because who knows how to fucking pronounce it? Why do these companies go from... But Focus Entertainment is fine.
Yes.
Focus is good.
Really don't struggle.
It's a household name in our circles, right?
And
like the
and
people that
got
know
recognition
games
now,
know
right?
Focus.
Yeah.
It does have recognition, like to the point where it's almost gotten to where you're like, oh, that looks like a Focus game. That's massive. If you have that, don't fuck with it. Are you kidding me?
And it's got that
Pull Up is shit.
Not reputation's the wrong word, but that what's the word? Not esteem. I can't think of the right word, but it's got that blah that like you see like an Annapurna game.
Factor.
It's brand value. Like it has something. It has
like
something behind the name.
Like published by Focus. Okay, well this is going to be probably pretty good.
That game.
Published by Pull Up, you're gonna have a little bit of a giggle, eh?
I just can't. Well, the only thing I'm hoping is that these fucking shareholders. I'm thinking about going to the French share market and buying a share and voting on this because this is how dumb it fucking is. I'm not going to do that though because I don't know if I even can do that. But yeah, I'm hoping that the shareholders vote against it
Yes.
Mm,
Same.
Why the fuck
Best
would
of
anyone
luck.
want to do that? Like, all right, French,
That's so
French,
bad.
France. This is your chance.
Get something right.
That's it. Be on the right side of a victory for once.
Cop that.
That's all I
Someone in
got.
France
for
is
these,
watching
unless there's
this going,
something else that's
"Fucking
yeah.
Australians."
Yeah. All right. Cool. Is that all for the news?
I believe so, but
Cool.
I may have missed something.
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything that. No, I can't think of anything. So let's get off topics and we'll whip through that, and then we'll head on home. Adam, go for it.
Hi, Adam from WellPlayed. I have an off topic this week. I watched X, the A24 horror movie.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It was fine. Apparently Pearl is set in the same universe. I don't know. We need
Prequel,
another.
effectively. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. We certainly need another name for collective media because I'm sick of
Do you
using the term
understand the
universe.
significance of Pearl? Like you know that Pearl was a character in X.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. I got that. There's certainly some like fun kills in it. It's nothing groundbreaking, but
No, certainly not.
I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it
Yeah.
was solidly okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got a third one on the way as well.
Yeah, I hear this. That's
Mia?
yeah, whatever her name is, the
Mia
protagonist
Goth.
from.
No, it's not.
Sure.
Mia, is it? That's the actress. No.
That's yeah. Oh,
Anyway.
sorry. I thought you were looking for the actress's name.
No.
But yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, it was
no,
alright.
Yeah.
Huge
feel
cock
very
in it.
much the
Good
same.
lord, absolute
Sorry?
meat mallet of a cock in it.
The
You heard
card.
me. Holy shit! It's only a silhouette, but
Yeah,
sent me
right.
flying.
The
Well-
old cudgel.
Speaking of big cocks, 2000s film of the week, eh? Today, actually, at work, Guy Pearce rocked up. Rocked into work and... I don't know. Maybe
I
he
can't
does.
tell if
think
you're
you-
fucking with us.
You think you would have brought this up sooner?
Oh, well, no, I was actually saving it for
The sad part is I'm
off-
sure he's fully legit.
off topics. No, he 110%, Guy Pearce
Yeah,
was
I believe you.
in the store today, and only one other person knew who Guy Pearce was.
Yeah.
I was very
I'm
shocked.
also not too surprised by that
Zach.
either.
Zach, are you're actually not having a go like
I'm
Guy Pearce
full
was?
on serious, yeah, 100%.
This shit happens in Melbourne, Adam.
Cool.
You wouldn't know,
Cool,
mate.
cool.
Sorry, I
Right.
want to give a shout out to my
Yep.
favorite Guy Pearce film. One of my favorite films, actually, of all time.
Say Iron Man 3. Do it.
He's going to say Memento.
Memento is a good film, but Iron Man 3 it is not. And no thanks, Iron Man, no thanks. Superhero films, not me. I'm more like
Don't worry,
my
Iron Man
heroes.
is Alan's favourite.
Heroes with a sword, mate. So this is the Count of Monte Cristo.
Huh?
So, I can't tell you why I own this, but I have one of the the promotional posters for Count of Monte Cristo
Fuck yeah.
that would be, I'm guessing, would have been in like a village cinema,
Hell yeah!
and it just happens to be in my possession. So I suppose I'll ship it over to you, mate.
Oh, amazing! I'll put that up on the wall, mate. That'll be great. Yeah, love that film. Watch it most years. I don't know why. It's like one of those, as you guys, you say like junk food, just easy, just chill out, watch it kind of thing.
Considering the book it's based on, that is a weird choice of junk food, mate.
It is.
The book I bought and started to read, but it's fucking huge, and I was
It
like,
is. It's a tome.
Tome. Yeah.
and I was like, nah, another time. Nah, but Guy Pearce, I actually wanted to shout out a different film, but it came a bit later than the 2000s, so I went with the old trusty Count of Monte Cristo, which you can watch on, I reckon, Disney Plus. Let me have a look.
Apple
for you.
TV.
Apple TV,
Oh.
Amazon Prime, and Google. Well, but you have to pay for
Yeah,
all these. Is the
Prime,
problem.
Prime's a $5.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's all rentals. Bummer.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I,
aware of
just,
this
I
movie.
also had
And
an
he-
eyebrow raise at that.
Yeah.
is very, very young in this film. It when I watched it, would have been after The Witcher 1, and I realised that was like young Young Henry.
Geralt.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
wowza.
There you
All right,
go.
cool. Anybody watch anything? I checked out Saltburn.
How'd you go?
I bet he hated it.
No, I guess she made him on Letterboxd now. You can check me out.
Oh, he's gone and done it.
Big buddy twisted my arm. Told
Set
me
you up. Yep.
he did. I'd give it a. What does it do? They do 5 stars. Yeah, I think I gave it a 4.
They do.
4 out of 5.
Oh yeah, wow.
I really liked it, but I thought it was a little. I mean, yes, it was weird, but I kind of didn't really understand where it came from.
Really?
No, I could just. Well, yeah, for very, 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 very minor surface level, the whole premise, right? I just didn't, I didn't understand where that drive, that desire came from.
He's climbing the social ladder.
Yeah, I got that, but it just was very. It felt. I don't know. I just kind of didn't like. How do you pick this person, kind of thing? I was like, it's very.
I can't comment on the person. I don't want to give nothing away.
Yeah.
I loved it. I truly, truly had an absolute time with that film.
Did you enjoy Promising Young Woman?
Yeah. More than I did not like the trailers. I thought, people ragged on the trailers, and I wasn't wilded by them, but I thought it was a pretty good film.
Yeah. I think if I don't think about it too hard, I really enjoy it. And I think I'd probably feel the same way about Saltburn.
So
Have
you've
you
not
seen
watched
Saltburn?
it.
Seen it yet? I have not. I have seen the bathtub scene because, of course, I have.
God damn it.
But,
All right, less said the better.
yeah, we can leave it at that.
Oh, that's not even the best worst.
I was lucky
it's a
I
good film.
didn't have a
Best
bathtub
boundaries.
when James came and sat over for Don Brocco.
That's
Hey.
it. Yeah. Real fucking dangerous game of roulette there.
I also watched Thanksgiving last night. They got like fucking 83. But no, but I was invited to the premiere. And I wanted to go to it. Right, as I think the premiere night was after the reviews dropped. The reviews were quite good, and it's like on 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. That film stank.
I've heard this.
That film stank real hard. The only good thing about it was Gina Gershon in it at the start.
We'd love a bit of Gershon.
Oh, absolutely.
The name don't ring a bell, sorry.
The face will. You'll as in
Face that rings a bell.
as in you'll recognize her. She's in Face Off. That's why I remembered her from the like instantly. I was like, oh yeah. And I watched
Okay.
American Nightmare, that little docu-series. Man,
Yeah, the Netflix one.
yeah, it was.
It looked a bit average.
I actually didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else here has watched it. I'll tell you what though, it makes that one of the police outfits look like fucking chumps, man. Like, Jesus Christ. They're not good at their job. It was if you like that shit, it was interesting enough. I would say give it a watch, but nothing essential. And I watched something else, but I can't remember. But someone else take over, please.
Yeah, look, I just finished Slow Horses season 3. I still stand by that. It's just like perfectly fine and entertaining if you like British spy thrillers with like a twinge of dark humor. But I don't think it's like groundbreaking. I don't think any of the seasons have been groundbreaking. But
Did you find the last
always
episode
pleased.
excessive? Like something? I can't further that question because obviously of spoilers. But
I think Slow Horses have finales. Like each, I would say, yeah, sure, it's excessive. No more so than the last season's finale.
But I mean the actual what happens in and just. Yeah, I'll ask that question off record.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I always get tickled because as soon as they end, they usually show a preview of the next season, which I'm not used to. Like a pretty hearty preview as well.
Yeah.
So I'm already excited for season 4. Let's go.
Very nice. Very good.
I finished The Curse.
What is that?
How do you explain the curse?
So I guess you could say it's
Elevator
about
pitch.
a married couple who are filming a reality show where they are effectively gentrifying a small town in New Mexico. Is that correct? And in the first episode, something happens and it kind of establishes this tone that is somewhere between like Twin Peaks and The Office. I don't really know. It's such a impossible thing to try to encapsulate. But I found it like genuinely very unsettling. A great thrill ride to go on. Not for everybody. A lot of people are going to find this way too slow and way too kind of odd. But
Awkward. Like it's definitely
very
kind
awkward.
Of a bit cringy.
I felt so physically uncomfortable watching him do some of those things, and her
Him
as well.
being
Like,
Nathan Fielder in his
yeah,
prime.
Nathan Fielder in his absolutely the comedy class bit was a nightmare. Yeah, exactly. And Emma Stone is also in it. She plays the wife. She is just a vile little creature. They're just perfect together. It's not at all the show I was expecting. I don't know what you couldn't expect what this becomes, but I really liked it.
What's it on?
Paramount, yeah. So I got a free week and just tried to burn through it in that time.
Fuck, I got an offer to get like half price Paramount. It was like $40 for the year, and I was like, I need to do
Watch
that.
Halo.
Well, I actually was going to get it for the A League, but then the time lapsed and I missed the date and it went up to
as it does.
and I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, it's yeah. And my journey into Gundam continues. I just watched a arc about how preteen kids were not raised in a world that allowed them to deal with hand-to-hand violence, so they all get really traumatized by having to shoot people. It was beautiful. I loved it.
Nice.
That rings familiar.
Yeah.
That's not one of the late. That you're still early though, right?
I think I'm like midway through season. I don't know how long the season is, to be honest, but I think I'm up to episode like 23 or something. So.
Oh shit! So you're not like you haven't touched like Gundam Wing and stuff like that.
Oh no, I'm 1978 Gundam.
Yeah, holy shit! Righto.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to the roots and try to appreciate where all of this had come from, and I'm really glad that I have. Like, it's a really bizarre little show. It's very focused, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff to follow.
Nice. Adam, anything else you want to contribute to off topics, or we
Watched Renfield and it was fucking eh. There you go.
Yep. That'll do it for you.
Yeah,
Alright,
that's
cool.
it. That's all I have to say for that.
Bang on, brother.
Alrighty. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the WellPlayed DLC podcast. You can check out all the content on www.well-played.com.au. We also have a video episode of this podcast if you made it through to the ending. It's up on YouTube, so you can see our faces as we record. I'm in a sleeveless shirt with the guns out. It looks really good. James just looks good naturally. The other two are here.
Let's do a visual mouse review. That was thrilling.
That was fun. Yeah, it felt like we were finally engaging with this new medium called video.
Absolutely.
Wild.
Indeed. Yes, thank you, and we will see you next time. And big shout outs to SteelSeries again. Check out the SteelSeries Alias Pro review on the website. And have a good weekend. What?
Cheerio.
Bye.
See ya.